on 1 second, guys. We're going to get this situated and we will get started.
We gotta adjust the camera.
Yeah.
There you go. Ooh, up higher. That's better.
Okay. Let's see.
All right. Talking about part 2.
Okay. We are going to be talking about part 2, McKenzie SHIRILLA. This isn't.
Nickname Hell on Wheels.
We are talking about part 2, McKenzie SHIRILLA. She is called Hell on Wheels. That's what the judge nicknamed her, was Hell on Wheels.
Why is it up there and not on mine?
Wait, what did I go? What happened? Hit the X. Okay. You got to go to right here.
Yes, there it goes.
This one.
No, I didn't want that. I wanted. Why is it not going on mine?
Hit the. Oh.
All right, leave it.
I can't. Keep going. Okay.
All right, just leave it. All right.
Try going on. Just go on the word thing on yours. W. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we had a few complications today. We're running a little late, but we're talking about her because she was supposed to go on our podcast, and we wanted to explain to her how this all worked and everything, and she was all for it, and then she quit contacting us. So we're going to continue on about that, this podcast, because we're going to let you know what kind of questions we had for her. And if you guys have any questions, and we can try to get a hold of her again, and we'll let her know we did another podcast and see what, maybe she'll reach out to us. But I know how we wanted to talk kind of limited last time because of what had happened and everything. Because we thought that she was going to come on, tell her story and everything. But we're just going to get into it. Her boyfriend and everything, we want to make it clear too, when we were talking, the father of her boyfriend was the one that didn't feel that she should go and have all that time, because we thought it was the other kid's father. It wasn't Davion. Was it Davion?
It's Dominic and
Davion. We thought it was Davion's dad that we were talking, because the way they were explaining it in the news stuff, but it was Dominic's dad, because that was her boyfriend Dominic, right? Yeah. So the boyfriend Dominic, it was his dad that was talking about he didn't want her to. Oh, grab our laptops too. He didn't want her to have like all that time, like a life in prison and everything. I'll grab yours. So we were looking into it, and it's hard to say, but if you look at all the evidence and everything that's connected to it and everything that had happened prior to that happening, she's, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. We really don't judge people, but just by reading and everything that everybody said, I mean, there's a possibility that that's, what she did was, it looked like, honestly, to us, it looked like a murder. She wanted to do like a murder-suicide, like a suicide, or what is it, a suicide pact? Something like that.
We only say this because previous to the accident, she was seen driving the route.
Yes.
And has no explanation of why she was driving the route previous to the accident. fact, it was the day before, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Um, we actually plan on going out there to see if they fix the wall or what it looks like. If it's all still there, or maybe if there's still something there, I don't know. But it would be very interesting to check that out. Um, she is serving a 15 to life, so before she can even attempt parole, she's gonna has to serve at least 15 years. But that doesn't mean she's gonna get out, though. She may not get out. It's just, you know.
When we talked about it the first time, there was only so much on the internet, and now she's claiming she had a neurological episode and it wasn't murder.
Yes, she's saying it was a health issue. I don't really know how true that would be. I think that's just a scapegoat, so she doesn't have to, with POTS, which is it's a post-hysteral orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. She was diagnosed with that years earlier, but there's a lot of people that have that and that doesn't happen. Not saying it never has happened, but I mean, you really don't see it that somebody got in an accident because of that.
But a Toyota Camry is so small. Imagine hitting that a solid wall at 100 miles an hour. That's just crazy.
Yeah. That would probably, yeah.
But she acted like she was interested in coming on here, and then she ghosted us.
Yes. We really thought she was going to come on. So we were having all these plans on having her come. But, excuse me. Excuse me, but she ended up not contacting us. Like, she just stopped talking, whatever, and I tried to get a hold of her several times. And I told her if she doesn't, contact us, I gave her a good week, I think. Maybe, yeah, about a week, about 6 days, 5 days. And I told her if she didn't, then we were going to go with somebody else, which that's when we went live last time. But she didn't contact us back, so I explained to her that, we had to go with somebody else. And that, if she chooses to talk to us, we can just plan on putting her back on. But we don't have no plans of putting her on right now because we can't get a hold of her. But I will message her after we're done with this and let her know we did another thing on her, and maybe she'll decide to come back on. I don't know. But there are a lot of questions that we do have, and we'll put them on here. And maybe if you guys have any questions, you can message us on here, or you can go to our Facebook page, which is Pure Evil Inside the Minds of Serial Killers. And we have another one called KEA Blasner. It says it says Inside the Minds of Serial Killers on it. That's us too. It's attached to that page. Or you could just go on here and message us also, and then we can, we'll try to get a hold of you. This is kind of sad, this whole thing. It's more like if she couldn't have him, nobody can. But like I said, I mean, maybe she did have a health issue. But if you go from back history till now, and then like the day before when she had, wasn't it the day before?
Yeah.
She went and went through the route. So she kind of knew, and if you watch the cameras...
They had cameras on the corner of the road. That's how they know
she went by, she slowed down, she had her blinker on, she did everything she was supposed to, turned the corner, and then it was, about 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then she just gunned it. So she, you just feel like we don't really judge, but you could just by what we're witnessing, and it's all online. It's not like anything we're just making up or we're assuming. It's all right there. You know, I mean, you can watch it for yourself. You can watch the video for yourself. It's all right there, and it's just it just looks like that. You know, she just turned it and just gunned it, and then there was no time. She didn't like have no stopping or anything. Like she didn't attempt to stop or anything like that. There's no wheel marks or nothing. Um, they I think what her reaction when she got the time when they said 15 to life. I don't think she thought she was going to get that much because she was what 17 at the time.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that she thought when she was like 17, she's young, whatever. I don't think she assumed that they were gonna give her like that much time. And honestly, when her 15 years is up, she's probably gonna serve more time. I don't. When they give you 15 to life, it's usually a life sentence. I mean, sometimes you do get lucky and get out, but I mean, we talk to people on here that are high profile cases, and they got 15 to life, and they've been in there since 1984, and they're still in there, and they're still going up for parole, and they're still going. We have one that's going up in September for a parole hearing, and he's been in there since 1982, I think, or 83, and he had just went up for parole like 6 years ago, I think it was, somewhere around there, and then he's going up again. And every time he gets paroled, or every time he gets up for parole, they always deny him. So I don't know. Maybe she'll get lucky, and in 15 years, she'll get out. But for parole, they look for a lot of things. They look for how your behavior is in prison, because if you can't behave in a structured setting, you know, how are you going to behave and follow rules in the outside world? If you can't do it in a structured setting, you can't do that in the outside world. You know, they're also going to look for the fact that, has she been a model prisoner? You know, has she even shown any remorse, or does she even admit, hey, you know what? I did do it for this reason. I feel really sorry for what I did. It shouldn't have happened. It was a jealousy thing. Like, you know, if she would do something like that, you know, they might consider her because she's taking responsibility for her actions. But we're not saying that's how it went down. We're just saying, you know, because this could have been a medical issue. We don't know. It will, you know, it's hard to say if anybody will ever know what really had happened, because nobody was in the car except for those three, and only one survived. She's supposed to be, um, she'll be eligible for parole until she's in her 30s. Um,
Says it took 20 seconds to get to 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
She had 100% altercation. During the accident and them trying to escalate them out of there, her foot was still on the accelerator. That is all over lines, so that's got to be fact, just because it's everywhere. And for anyone that didn't see the first part, they had gotten to a fight 2 weeks prior to the accident. And the funny thing about nowadays is everybody texts, so they have all those texts, all those threatening remarks she made prior to this accident. And prior to that, she did state that she was going to crash that car and kill him.
Yes, she did.
Prior to this accident. And then she just happens to drive the route and then get in the accident the next day. So I don't know how she thinks she's going to get out on this one, especially when you're responsible for 2 deaths. And sad part is the kid in the back seat was just bumming a ride at the last minute.
He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
At one point, it was 18. Did they drop some?
I think so. I think when all was said and done, they only got to 12 charges. I think it was higher than that, but they got to 12 charges when they finally everything was said and done on it. She was guilty found on all 12 charges.
So they dropped some stuff. A lot of it was repetitive too, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because they.
But there were mushrooms found in the car.
Yes. But she didn't have anything like that in her system, though. Dominic's mother, Christine, said the couple were on the rocks, often fighting and making threats towards one another.
Yeah, if you go online, they posted a lot of their messages back and forth, and they're degrading. I mean, she was verbally abusive. That's a small car to be hitting it at 100 miles an hour, regardless of how big the car was.
Well,
They have the whole video of the police there. If you want to go on YouTube and see the actual accident.
Yeah, it shows it. If the camera
And it
would have
shows
been
the
just down like a little
officers
bit,
actually walking away because they can't stomach what they've seen.
if the cameras would have been pointed down just a little bit more, you would have actually seen it just smack into it. But you can hear it though. You can see the car go, and then you can hear it. She was found guilty of all 12 charges, which included murder, aggravated vehicular homicide, felonious assault, and drug possession.
So we had a whole bunch of questions we were going to ask her. And it all pertained to stuff questioning what they already posted online, just to see if, you know, what was fact and what was her side. It wasn't like we were going out to hang anybody. We were really interested in getting her
Well, these are the kind of
side.
questions you kind of like, like prosecutors would ask because you're curious. You want to know. You want to know. These questions might even help out. Somewhat. Trying to figure out like maybe what was behind it.
It
all.
might make her remember something too
Yes.
that they didn't ask. Like, what was the last thing you remember when you were driving? And, what's the last thing you did before you got in the car? And
you wonder if everybody had their seatbelts on. Because
I
sometimes
don't think
people in
the
the back.
kid in the back did because he was
Well, I was just gonna say
pretty jacked up.
some people in the back they don't put their seatbelts on.
I know I don't.
I don't either. I'm not even like.
Not in the back seat, anyways.
Not in the back.
In
Yeah,
the front,
not in the back
I do.
seat. In the front, you do.
Don't get me on that one. But she was trying to say that the car malfunctioned. But she stopped at the light, turned her blinker on, turned right, and then you just see her punch it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if it was a malfunction, I don't feel that
Well, no, they
you're going to be able to
checked
turn at an ease and then just go.
And in the newer cars, I think it's like, I forgot what year it started, but the newer cars, they have like black boxes, like airplanes and stuff. So if something malfunctions, like if you get in a car crash, it will actually tell you if something malfunctioned, just like in an airplane. And I'm not for sure what year what car, because her car had it in
It
there.
said that some of the Toyotas had recalls for unwanted acceleration and hers did not apply. And then there was a vacuum pump on her car and it was already repaired prior to the crash.
It's called an EDR, and it's from 2014 on up. And her car was a newer car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a newer car. So her car had a black box on it. So it would be able to tell like vehicle speed, brake use, airbag deployment, stuff like that, seconds before, during, and after a crash.
Yeah, it said it had a fail-safe if the accelerator should stick, and hitting their brake would stop the acceleration.
Yeah, they
She
said there was
never
no
hit the
malfunction
brake,
at
according
all.
to the video.
And according to the black box thing, like there was no malfunction, there was nothing, like it was just she just kept going.
But I'm like, 20 seconds. Think to
Now,
really have time to react. If you're sitting in the driver's seat and I'm the passenger, 20 seconds is not a whole lot of time to say, hey, slow down and figure out what the hell the person's doing. I really like to know what their reaction was when she decided to fly down this road.
now in May 2025, Shirilla's parents, Steve and Natalie, um, they alleged that they and neurologist Dr. Kamal Chamali review the evidence and that is consistent with loss of consciousness for Shirilla at the time of the crash. Steve and Natalie believe that their daughter suffered a medical event right before the crash and did not intentionally kill her boyfriend and friend. But if you went unconscious though, my only theory with my I should say theory, my only thing with that is though, if she went unconscious, wouldn't the car have went a different way, or she would have like everything just would have went limp and then she would have let go of everything, like the gas and everything? Because when they found her, her foot was still pressed up against the gas. So she had, I don't know, I don't know, I think when you're unconscious, everything goes limp. Because your body's just not. Um,
It says 2 weeks before crash, driving recklessly on the highway, Dom calls his mom. She sends Chris to get him. He hears her threatening to crash and sees her hit him. People say that it's because he lives with Dom's mom. In Texas, McKenzie accuses him of Dom trying to end her life by grabbing the wheel. He denies it multiple times, and while all this is happening, I don't think she realized he was still on the phone, and they heard her say, I will crash this car right now. So I don't know how she's supposed to backpedal from people actually hearing her state these things. And then some of the texts she sent, threatening, and always, it was either taking his life out or her own life out.
Now this says here, if you are unconscious, just to be clear, it says when a person is unconscious, their body becomes limp, but their vital and voluntary functions continue. The mind loses control over voluntary muscles, causing the body difficult to move. So she had to have went limp. So if she went unconscious, she wouldn't have been able to push her foot on the gas. But I mean, anything is possible. Maybe she had her foot on the gas, went unconscious, and her foot got stuck on the gas. I mean, there are possibilities too.
So she just happened to have this medical incident the next day after pre-driving this course.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone's gonna fall for that.
I'm just saying. A temporary loss of consciousness is caused by a sudden drop in blood flow to the brain, which leads to a brief limp state. She wasn't in a coma. Unless she had a seizure. I mean, it's just hard.
I wonder what her plea deal was that she turned down.
Let me see.
Because I know the last I was reading up on it, she had a plea deal, but she turned it down and chose to keep going. I
Okay.
think it would have been good for her to get on here and tell her side of the story, just to put an end to some of the curiosity to people talking.
Trying to see if they even have that on here. Because there's just some things that they won't put on here. So, I mean, it's hard to tell.
Right here, 4 counts of murder, 4 counts of felonious assault, 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide, 1 count of drug possession, 1 count of possessing criminal tools. What was the criminal tools?
I think that was the stuff with like the shrooms and stuff. Remember they found stuff like
No, that's the possession of drugs, but what was the criminal tools?
that one. I don't know.
There's so much more on here from the last time I looked. So obviously she's been to court a few more times since.
Criminal tool was probably the car.
True.
Um, I'm assuming the criminal tool was the car.
Here it says sentence hearing alleged posted. She claims that the drugs and narcotics did not have any effect on her.
And if you look it up online, you can see the car.
But they have a sign like all the schools do that's on a cement pad, and she barely hit that and almost hit the building on the corner, which really would have took all of them out. The video is crazy to watch.
Yeah.
To see the officers look in that car and then have to walk away, it's sad. That poor kid in the back went through hell.
Um, criminal tools can mean anything. I'm assuming a criminal tool for this is the car.
But they have the whole court record on here too.
Yes, they
If you
absolutely
want to
do.
go on there and read up on it, those are always interesting.
Okay. A car can be considered a criminal tool under Ohio law if someone possesses it with the intent to use it for a criminal act. So that's probably what criminal tool was that.
But I'd like to know what her frame of mind was when she finally came alert when they pulled her out of the car. Did she even have remorse for not knowing where her boyfriend and friend were, or was she just worried about herself? Because if I remember right on the video, you can hear her asking for something. I don't know if it was her phone or if it was her purse, but she was asking for something. It wasn't about Devon or Dominic. She was asking for an item.
Well, months after the crash is when she got arrested, and then the Strongsville Police Department recordings that were released in 2025, Shirilla could be seen on body footage cam, where she was told she was being arrested for aggravated murder. For 2 counts of aggravated murder. She was held in jail at a $500,000 bond, which I think she stayed there. recollection of the crash or anything like that. The moments before the car hit the wall. Um, Based on the car's event, the EDR, which is the black box, the vehicle's accelerator pedal was fully depressed with no application of the brake just seconds before the collision. So, um, that meant her foot was on the brake or the accelerator the whole time when the crash occurred. Even leaving she had fuzzy slippers on. Even leaving her fuzzy slipper trapped between the gas pedal and the floor mat. So, although there are theories that her slipper could have accidentally caused the acceleration, but the sergeant, he believes the shoe could have not been caught in such a way that it could have unintended acceleration prior to the crash. They probably did.
See, now I can kind of contest that because I know somebody whose flip flop got stuck on it, and she almost hit our building.
I don't know.
So that's a possible, but a slipper's a lot softer than a flip flop.
I don't know. It's really hard to say. They probably did like a crash reenactment and everything. Like they probably did a lot of stuff involving the slipper too. I don't know because sometimes they take evidence from a crash like that and try to reenact like if the slipper was whatever. Maybe they try to put the slipper in between to see maybe if it did get stuck or whatever. I mean, there's possibilities they could have done to do a reenactment of it. A few seconds prior to the crash, the car experienced a hard steering event towards the right, whether that was Shirilla attempting to regain control of the vehicle, a passenger reaching for the vehicle, because if it was steering towards the right, then that means the passenger person could have been trying to pull it out of the way like this, because you're the driver here and the passenger is here. So they would have been on the right trying to pull it.
Right.
So that's kind of like a 50-50 there. Or a physical reaction for the car being airborne and then hitting the ground, and it's still unknown. The vehicle was also shifted between neutral and drive in the moments before the crash, but it's unclear why. And that could be too when they were going like that and they were starting to, where you're going so fast, they could have been moving around like this. What the gear thing is, they might have just hit it in between with their elbow or their arm or something. But that is hard to tell unless they try to hit it in park and didn't get that far. That's a possibility too, where somebody was trying. Maybe she was trying to throw it in park, or maybe the passenger was trying to throw it in the park. I mean, those are just theories. It's not something I'm saying that was trying to be happening. It's just a theory that could have possibly have happened that way, because they're still unclear on that. The sergeant also concluded that there was no indication of any pre-crash mechanical or electrical failure that may have caused loss of accelerator control, a loss of braking, or a loss of the ability to steer the vehicle. And other evidence too uncovered by the investigators, they revealed that Shirilla was under the influence of marijuana and was in possession of psychedelic mushroom at the time of the crash. The detective also uncovered over 100 instances of what he characterized as distracted or reckless driving on Shirilla's social media accounts, including driving while smoking, according to the court documents. So they must have went to all her social media and stuff and seen stuff that she was like distracted or reckless driving.
Says she lost her second appeal.
Yeah. She's
not getting out anytime soon.
No, that was just a fun idea for her, but yeah, it's not gonna happen right now. She's gonna have to wait 15 years, and it's not even a guarantee she'll get out in 15. Now she might get lucky, like I said, if she becomes a model prisoner and she does, what she's supposed to, and she don't like sneak in phones, or she don't get into fights, or she don't do anything. Because the way the parole board looks at it, if you can't abide by the rules and be a good person, like a model citizen in there, and follow rules in the prison in a controlled area, then what makes you think you can be out in society and not break the rules? It's that, I mean, and they're also going to look for, does she have remorse? If she's going to,
She didn't show any remorse in any of the videos I
no,
watched.
not at all, not at all. And even talking to her, she really didn't. I can't say she didn't like no remorse, because she really didn't give a lot of information. She just said that they feel that there was a medical condition, and that she has the Help Free Mackenzie SHIRILLA webpage, but I don't know why they have that on YouTube or anything like that, because all that stuff on there kind of incriminates her, or we feel it incriminates her. There's nothing on there that, like, has any proof that she has, like, the POTS syndrome, or the her foot sticking to the accelerator, or her passing out. It has people on there showing evidence that on their phones of, like, text messages and stuff like that between her and her boyfriend, with her. There's just all kinds of evidence. It's just really hard to. You would have to look it up yourself, and you would see what I'm talking about. What's it called? Free Mackenzie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can look it up on, I think it's YouTube, or you might
It
even
was on
pull it up on
YouTube. I
Facebook.
found it. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's really nothing that we seen on there that would help her out. But we were gonna talk to her about all that, but she quit talking to us. Like, for some reason, I don't know if she talked to her family, and her family's like, well, don't talk to them. I don't really know. I don't know what had happened on that.
Well, she seems pretty punky, so I'm wondering if they're afraid she's gonna slip up and say something that could cause more issues.
Well,
or
we don't. No matter what.
But why
you
would
say
you go
on here,
100 miles an hour down a dead end road?
That's true.
You have to have some form of mental problem to be doing that kind of speed down a dead end road.
She received a credit for almost a year of time served behind bars, and was eligible for all 15 years. So technically, she's got 14 more years to go. Her driver's license was also permanently suspended. Also, she only had for what, a year? Ugh.
But after the accident, she wasn't arrested right away.
No,
And
that was a
they
few months
had-
after is when she got
they had
arrested.
footage of her going out dressed up for Halloween. They had her, living life with no remorse to the family of her boyfriend or
And
the friend that was in the back seat.
we also understand everybody grieves differently, and that maybe that's how she felt to grieve. Like, Dominic would have wanted this, or Dominic would have wanted that. But we don't. That's really hard to say, because some people would grieve where they would just be locked up in their house, locked up in their room, in bed all the time. But everybody's different. But partying and everything else is a little. But everybody does grieve differently. So.
Well, give it a while, and there'll probably be a movie or a document on it, and maybe she'll finally talk to somebody.
That's the possibility.
I know the parents have spoken out, but they weren't there, so it's not like they could really give any information.
Yeah.
And with her being in jail, everything's recorded, so I'm sure she's not going to say too much while they're visiting.
I wonder what goes through their mind when they're sitting there waiting for the sentence. And that's kind of one of the questions we want to ask too. Like, what was going through your mind when you were sitting there with the anticipation of what you're going to get? Like, were you sweating? Was your heart racing? Like, did your lawyer tell you may get this amount of time? Maybe the judge is just gonna, this or this. that was one of the questions we are going to ask. Like, what was the thought process when the judge was handing out that sentence? Like, you know, I mean, we could see your reaction afterwards, but beforehand, what was going through your mind? Like, were you thinking that, okay, I'm going to get off on this, or maybe I'll get 5 years and then probation? Like, what was the thought process in her mind? Um, I know when we talked to her, she wanted to know kind of what kind of questions everybody would ask, what kind of questions we would ask. But honestly, we weren't going to tell her that. And the only reason why we didn't want to tell her anything is because we didn't want her to have those questions and already write down the answers or think of the answers, because they wouldn't be legit. They wouldn't be real. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. We didn't want to say what was going through your mind, so she would have a time to think about that. When we want to ask her straight up alive and ask her, then she would have to tell us right then, and we don't want her to like already have it written down. We want them to just tell us the answer. Because you know how people, when you ask them questions like that, like you want the real true answer, not.
I want the real reaction.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. We want the real reaction, because sometimes if you watch somebody when you ask a question like that, you can kind of see the look on their face before they even say it. Like, okay, what the true reaction is going to be, so you kind of know if it's legit, if it's true. Watching the body language of them. Yeah, we have quite a bit of questions on here. Well, we were going to ask her.
We have 2 pages full.
Which is, it's a lot. We have, what kind of questions were they asking you at the rec site? Like stuff,
It was a 2018 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, so she definitely had a newer car at the time. They found a scale and mushrooms, and everyone had large amounts of cash on them. We were going to ask, were they yours? Was that your cash? Did you know that the mushrooms were in there? We were going to ask questions like that. When you came to, because she was, what's the first thing you remember? Because I'm sure she went unconscious at the time it happened, because the car was sitting there for a minute before anybody even found
45
them.
minutes.
Yeah.
It was 45 minutes before a passenger seen her.
I wonder what the first thing that came to her mind was. She's
well, in the
probably
video,
around.
she asked for something. I can't remember what it was. She asked for something, and it was nothing to do with the boys.
I don't know. I can see.
But if you go online and look up this, you're not going to believe someone survived this accident. This car just looks, it's destroyed. I don't even know how to describe it.
Okay, it says on here. It says when police and firefighters arrived at the crash scene, Mackenzie Shirrill was found unconscious in the vehicle. After officers broke a window and heard mumbling, one of the first things she asked was, "How is Davion?" in reference to her friend Davion Flanagan.
In the video, she's asking for something, and I did not hear a name.
Hang on.
I'll watch it again tonight, because I cannot remember which. It was weird. But
Oh, it was her bracelet. They removed her bracelets? No, that was during her arrest.
yeah, when they were putting handcuffs on her, she was more concerned about losing her friendship bracelet than she was the fact that she was being arrested. That was a whole nother video they've got on there.
I remember seeing that.
But somewhere I read where there was a doctor that was monitoring how she behaved and watching the videos of how she reacted to things, and it wasn't a healthy outcome the way she talked about it. You can go on there and see that too. She's in Marysville,
I think so, because that's
Marysville,
the only
Ohio Women's Prison.
Yeah, Marysville is the only women's prison in Ohio. That's like 3 hours from here. 3
Huh.
or 4.
I just can't imagine finding out that my kid gets a ride from someone and this is where he ends up at. I feel so bad for these parents. But her behavior on the texts, which is live proof, and the conversations people overheard, and her friends, they interviewed friends and said that she was always demeaning to her boyfriend. So you think that the parents would have picked up there was a bit of a screw loose there.
Well, I mean, you know how it is some parents with their kids.
But I
That's
keep
not
an eye on
everybody,
it, and if I see her go on, I'm curious if she'd answer then, but sometimes it's the middle of the night, so I don't know if she's really sitting there on.
I could have, you know, what we could have did was put that mini camera on and put the video on here, and they could have watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get that camera on. You'd have to do it through there. I think it would be the main
I don't
camera.
wanna screw this up.
Go to the Logic tablet camera. I would think that's it, isn't it? Because that's the main one that's on right now.
Go to the which one? This one?
See if that one turns it on.
Now is it going to shut this all down now?
I don't think so. Nope, I guess that wasn't it.
Turn it on. We could have just held it up to the regular camera that's showing us then. Is this still going then?
No, because it was showing up on the screen right there. You can hit the main camera and see what that'll do.
Well,
Like-
it's up here.
Yeah.
That's just, we could have just put it in front of that camera.
I'd have to hold the laptop up to it.
It's like, it's long. It's not just 2 minutes, it's long.
You guys, if they could, I don't think they could see it if I did it.
Not that far away. It would have had to been how we had it hooked up before. Well, you can look up the website and just tell them what the website is. Nice background music.
I don't know how to get.
Yeah, I went. Last time we lost.
You guys can. You guys
It's
can
body
pull it up.
cameras.
On YouTube about it. I mean, if you guys want to pull it up and look, you'd see. If we would have left that little camera thing on, we should have just left that on. Of course, the one time we didn't. You guys would have been able to see what we're talking about. Mine won't leave the page.
That's the arrest. I don't want that.
Hold on a second.
It's right here. I typed in body camera of Mackenzie SHIRILLA and it popped right up.
Yeah, that's of her arrest. Yeah, you got the dash. You got the. It just shows the this. I don't know if this shows like the whole thing though, right here. think that's just at the site. I don't know if that shows the whole crash. Because there's her right there.
No, the video shows the officers getting there, but
Because I wanted them to see.
Well, we have obtained more body cam video, which sheds some light on the crash, the investigation, and the arrest of Mackenzie Shirilla. The now 20-year-old is serving a 15-year to life sentence.
I don't know if it'll show it. I can put it up to the screen.
Friend in a crash in 2022.
Oh, no, that just shows them there. It doesn't show.
In July 2022, 3 unresponsive people trapped inside a mangled Toyota Camry. Medics rushed driver Mackenzie Shirilla to the hospital. Her boyfriend, 20-year-old Dominic Russo, and friend, 19-year-old Davion
Yeah,
Flanagan.
it doesn't show the whole crash. That ain't the one.
In the weeks and months that followed, police determined this was no accident.
one video shows the body camera of the officers approaching the scene. Another video shows them investigating it, and they have the actual camera of her stopping at the light, completely stopping, turning her signal on, and then slowly turning, and then she takes off, and then she's out of the camera, and you can hear it hit. It's 2 different videos.
You guys would definitely have to go on YouTube, or you can Google it, and it'll show you on YouTube the actual camera footage. If I would have left the second camera thing on, which we took it off, I could have showed you, but that's something really to look into, because you would see when she gets up to the corner, she puts her blinker on and goes and turns and goes slow. And then it just goes from there.
I just had the picture of the car and I lost it. This one here says it's 2 minutes. But I don't think that's the actually. Oh, I just lost the freaking picture of the car too.
Yeah, it's hard to find on these. Like, you gotta really type it in and make it, you know what I'm saying? Okay, this one says this was the video right before the crash.
At Franklin University, you'll find flexibility
I don't
so
know
you
if
don't
this
miss
is
the
it or
everyday
not.
moments. You can count on student-focused support from experts to advise, mentor, and guide you as you pursue.
15 years.
She got 15 years of life.
We will never get to see the amazing me.
Okay, here it is right here.
She's her crash.
Okay, here it is.
Her 20-year-old boyfriend, Dominic.
Okay, I don't know if I can get it for you guys to see this. You think
Yeah,
it-
it's showing it.
Is it showing it?
Yep.
Okay, hang on.
And their 19-year-old friend, Davion. They were in a car. She made that car go 100 miles an hour into
on,
a
let me show it.
wall.
see.
She did that on purpose. She survived. And now the family of the victims.
It's really hard to see on here because it is kind of dark. But I don't know if you guys were able to see where it showed her making that turn really, really slow, and then it just gunned it within a few seconds shortly after. I wish that other camera, I remember how to turn that one back on, but um trying to think here. Russo's father, Frank, has expressed a desire for Shirilla to be rehabilitated. So that was her boyfriend's dad, Dominic. He said, "I lost my son. It's harder on our family, but I don't want the rest of her life ruined too. It's going to make me feel it isn't going to make me feel any better after her sentencing. She's just a little kid. She fucked up. She did a damn stupid thing, but now her parents are destroyed. Her family's destroyed too. I wish there was a way she could get some kind of help, some kind of treatment."
All right, wait. See if I can pause this.
You think that one's better than what I had?
No, wait. Here's the damage to the building. Show them that. Can you see where she hit it right on the corner of the building?
Right there.
Yeah, that's the building. And then let me fast forward it. It shows what the car looks like at the end. It's insane.
If you guys are on Podbean right now, if you go on YouTube, you can see some
And
of
this
the
is
stuff
what the
that's
car
doing.
looked like afterwards. How did anyone survive that?
She got very lucky.
Absolutely insane. And even with all the airbags deployed, it
That's
was
probably what had
devastating.
saved her. Her parents had spoke out in May 2025 for the first time since her sentencing, and they said, "Show me one piece of evidence that says she did this on purpose. Show it to me. Then she's right where she belongs, and she's guilty of it. But there isn't any. There's no evidence of what was going on in that car other than information they gleaned from the black box." So they did get information from the black box. While Shirilla is being held in Ohio's women's prison in Marysville, her new legal team is continuing to file appeals and post-conviction relief petitions. Her parents and team allege that two pieces of evidence were ignored in the original trial: health data that could point to her suffering a medical event at the time of the crash, apologetic texts from Russo that show he instigated the couple's fights. And that's hard to say too, because how did they know that she didn't maybe erase something or?
They have witnesses on July 17th, 2022, that she threatened him. She said, "I'm going to crash this car right now." Then July 20th, 2022, 3 days later, she turns around and they have the parents on the phone because he asked his mom to come get him. He was not comfortable with being in the car with her because and then they have text messages of her saying she's going to kill herself, and if she does, will he die next, or should he go first? And those are concrete evidence right there that she's threatened him.
Yeah.
So that probably all played against her when she's sitting there looking pretty, thinking she's going to get away with this.
Her parents are looking for something.
They're in denial.
Well, they're looking for some kind of evidence that, like, between the whole car and, the arguing thing, they would say that was consensual because they argued back and forth, back and forth. I mean, that's just
But
what they're going for.
I've
though.
argued with my husband. I've never said I'm going to kill you.
Oh, I know that, but I'm saying
She not
for
only
them.
did it verbally, she freaking was stupid enough to put it in a text.
True. I'm just saying the way her parents look at it, they always got kind of heated in their arguments back and forth. But like you said, she was doing threatening things.
That's
at
why I
first.
really want to hear her side of this. I'm going to keep plugging at it and see if she answers.
You could actually message her right now. We'll message her right now. And see, maybe if she does answer, we can always, let you guys know. I don't know if she's on.
Yeah.
Is she on?
It's lit up green.
Okay, then she's
Where is
on.
she? Right here.
You could ask her, if she would like to join the podcast if she'd like to go on the podcast, and she's messaging her right now. And it varies too, because sometimes it takes them like 20 minutes to text us back. Sometimes they won't text back for a day. It just all depends on the person too. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to receive the text, but as long as it's like nothing like a huge long paragraph or a bunch of pictures, they should receive it within 10, 15 minutes, because it'll say approved, and approved means they got it. If it says pending means that they're still waiting on it. So if it says approved, they okayed it, and then she got it. So it depends if she's gonna read it or not right away. But it does say she's on. It's kind of like online. If you're on Facebook, it's green lit up. That means you're online. Then it'll say 2-3 hours went by, and it'll say 2-3 hours that you weren't online. Hers is the same way. If it's green, she's on. If she's not on, it'll be gray. And it would be great if she would go on next time, but I just don't know if she's going to or not. Like she says she will. I know people have requested to have her go online, and people requested to have her, us to do a thing on her, but she didn't. I don't know why she didn't want to go on last time. We thought we had everything all set up with her.
In fact, when we asked her if she wanted to, she said, "I do. I would actually love to."
Yes, she did. She said it. We got it right on there.
So
She actually
otherwise,
loved to.
we would have never
We
even
wouldn't have
mentioned
we
it
wouldn't
on
have
a
pursued
podcast.
it at all. If they don't want to talk to us and don't bother, we don't pursue anything more, because that's not what we do. We don't harass anybody to come on. A lot of times they're wanting to come on, they're wanting to be on, and to do it. So it just, I don't understand what had happened, unless, like I said, unless she talked to her family and her family decided, you know what, we're not going to do this. We don't want you to do it. But now that her appeal got denied and everything, maybe she'll want to come on. It's okay. So she posted for it, and let's see, it's not a guarantee she's gonna go on right now, which we have to get off here pretty soon. When we do our next one, we will update you on that, and if she decides to, then we'll put it on Facebook, and we'll put it on, our website, and let you know, if she responded or anything, like, if she's going to be like a part 3, but I don't know. You just got to go back right there. But she might not post
might
right now.
still ghost us.
Yeah. If we do go back, we're going to go. Let me pull up. So we are going to go on Sunday the 6th, September 7th. So Sunday, September 7th, we'll be back on. We are going to do, if she doesn't contact us again and want to be on here, then we're going to do Aiden Fucci next time. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He is, when he was about 14, I think it was, 14 or 15, he stabbed and killed one of his friends who was a cheerleader at his school, and he had no motive to do it. He just wanted to do it. He ended up getting a life sentence too. We'll get into that next time on September 7th. So hopefully we see all you guys, or hopefully everybody shows up there. And we do sell merchandise for people. These are from James Michael Monroe, Tina Monroe from the Freeway Killer.
I can't even see him that far away.
So if you guys want stuff from him, we do have his
That
pants, a robe. He did all these paintings by hand. They do come in the frames. We got appeal papers, and we got all kinds of stuff like that.
His radio,
Yeah, we got a radio.
his robe, his charger.
We got pictures of him. So if you guys decide you want any of those, get in contact with us too. We're gonna head off here, and hopefully we see you guys September 7th, and it'll be at 6 p.m. Unless anything changes, that's when we'll be. But just watch us for our website too. Talk to you guys later.